when police promote the use of 911 to report suspected drivers, and also prominent signs in the community have tremendous results. And so what we've seen across the country over the past 5 years is 45 to 80% increase in the number of 911 calls coming in from those communities that have an active 911 program. Impaired driving charges increase anywhere from 30 to 80% depending on the community. Between 35 and 45% of those vehicles pulled over from a 911 call are actually charged with an impaired driving offense or receive a roadside suspension. And predominantly, most of these calls are made on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. So we're honored today to be joined by special guests, and we're also honored by being joined and being hosted here by the Toronto Police, and we'll have a special ride program following these ceremonies this morning. It's a great pleasure to introduce Matt Canada's National President, Denise Dubeck, who is a founding member of the Calgary chapter and has served on our national board for several years. As she will tell you, Denise has a very personal reason for being involved with Matt Canada. Denise, can you come and say a few words on behalf of him?
Good morning. Thank you for being here. I am delighted to be here today with our distinguished guests to launch Matt Canada's Campaign 911 for 2012. Campaign 911 offers a real and tangible way for citizens to help police take impaired drivers off our roads. Our message is a simple one. If you see a driver you suspect is impaired, call 911 to report it to police. We use public service announcements, billboards, road signs, posters, and other promotional materials, some of which we will be handing out to motorists here today, to tell people about the campaign and help educate them about the possible signs of an impaired driver. Across the country, more than 100 MAD Canada chapters and community leaders work with their local police and with other partners to take Campaign 911 and the message into their communities. Over the past couple of years, MAD Canada has expanded Campaign 911 message into the boating and marine community. Even though operating a boat impaired is just as dangerous as drinking and driving impaired, some people don't seem to understand that risk. Alcohol is a factor in 40% of the boating fatalities in Canada each year. Yet, 37% of boaters surveyed said they consume alcohol every time they boat. So it's clear to us that we need to bring this Campaign 911 message to the waterways. We are pleased to report that we have worked with local and regional municipalities, police, harbors, and boating clubs to produce nearly 250 Don't Boat Impaired signs. Campaign 911 runs year-round, but we host an annual launch at this time of year. As people are thinking ahead to the May long weekend, thinking about weekends at the cottage, or planning summer road trips, we want people to be aware of the dangers of impaired driving. It is a risk at all times, but the risk is higher during the spring and summer months, especially on long weekends. It is very disturbing that despite the laws, despite the enforcement, despite the fact that everyone knows impaired driving is wrong and dangerous, people still do it. Impaired driving is the leading criminal cause of death in Canada. Every day on average, 4 people are killed and 174 injured as a result of impaired driving. That's every day in Canada. The tragedy is these deaths and injuries are all preventable. The crash that killed my son-in-law, Daryl, was preventable. On May 7, 2000, our family joined thousands of other victims of impaired driving. The police knocked on our door that morning and delivered the news that my son-in-law had been killed. He was a passenger in a pickup truck driven by an impaired driver. The pickup crashed into the back of a parked moving van, and Daryl was killed instantly. He was just 32 years old. Daryl left behind my daughter Tammy and my two grandsons aged 2 and 6. And I will never, ever forget that morning. I will never forget seeing my daughter's pain or the look in the eyes of my two grandsons. As a mother and a grandmother, there was nothing I could do to protect them from this. I feel such sadness and regret that our family's future with Daryl was extinguished in the blink of an eye. The memories of the last time I saw him with his boys and with my daughter, as much as I cherish those memories, they break my heart. And I am determined to do everything I can to ensure those families, other families, don't have to go through this. And that is why programs such as Campaign 911 are so important. With each impaired driver we can take off the road or waterway, we are potentially saving a life or preventing an injury. It could be someone's mother or father or grandparent, someone's child, someone's brother or sister, someone's friend. Programs such as Campaign 911 puts the issue of impaired driving on everyone's radar and tells them what to do if they see a driver they suspect is impaired. Not everyone realizes that calling 911 is the right way to report it. When we first started this program, many people held a misperception that impaired driving was not a reason to call 911, that it wasn't a true emergency. We're pleased to note that this is changing and people are getting the message that calling 911 is absolutely the best way to report impaired drivers. And yes, this is a true emergency. Campaign 911 and Call 911 programs are helping. They are giving citizens an opportunity to play a critical role in their own safety and alert police to impaired drivers before a potentially deadly crash occurs. This program would not be possible without the partnership and collaboration of police, local and provincial governments, and road safety organizations. We thank them for their continued partnership in promoting this program and, most importantly, making our roads and communities safer. The program would also not be possible without the generous contributions of our sponsors. This year, we are very proud to welcome a new title sponsor, the Automotive Recyclers of Canada, or ARC. I thank ARC for its involvement and its contributions. As well, I want to thank our official sponsors, Allstate Insurance and Maritime Ontario, who have been long-time Mad Canada partners. And I thank our special guests here today, Attorney General John Garretson, Police Chief William Blair, Deputy Commissioner Larry Beachy, and Mr. Steve Fletcher from Automotive Recyclers of Canada. Each person we can reach with the message to call 911 could save a life or prevent an injury. It could be one less person who would have to hear that terrible, tragic news that a loved one has been involved in an impaired driving crash. Together, we will stop impaired driving. Thank you.